All right, welcome to today's webinar. We are so happy to be with all of you today. Wow, we've got several hundred people on the webinar, so this is really exciting. And we promise you that this will not only be educational and informative, but man, this will get you excited about investing in real estate. Marquis Properties here. We are your partner in cash flow real estate. We've been in business over 7 years and have literally sold hundreds of properties to individuals such as yourselves all over the country. And again, we're just so pleased to be with you. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into things here. I have a short video clip that Rick Klatfelter, one of our marketing directors, put together that addresses several concerns that his clients had with market volatility. And he talks about how cash flow and investment properties have been a solution for them. So let's go ahead and get started here.
Fear gripping Wall Street this morning as investors brace for another wild ride.
Well, fears about the health of this economy have many people out there wondering exactly what to do with their own money, and that's where our next guest is coming.
Stop! There is no rhyme or reason, it seems, in the markets today, and all the experts agree on one thing, that they don't agree on anything. Admittedly, there are things outside of our control. Market volatility, reducing bond yields, low rates of return and low caps on annuities, tensions around the world that cause fear and panic, and much, much more. Hello, my name is Rick Klatfelter, and I'm the Executive Vice President and National Marketing Director for Marquis Properties. But I am not just a guy trying to sell you an idea that may or may not work. I'm a licensed advisor. Over the last 24 to 36 months, my clients have seen an incredible level of volatility on their market assets, and they've been bombarded with negativity from the media. My clients are looking for one of three things. First, they're looking for income now because they really need it. Second, they're looking for income now because they just want it for their lifestyle. And third, my clients are looking for a great rate of return on their portfolios in the form of income now. Are you sensing a theme here? There's an opportunity that exists right now in cash flow real estate. We're at the beginning of the wave here, folks, and those who take advantage of it will be light years ahead of the competition.
We've also seen another trend, and that is a real uptick in rentals, both in the number of people renting and the amount that they're paying for rentals. What does this mean in the greater scheme of things?
Well, what it does mean is it helps to form that bottom, because there are investors in the market who it absolutely makes sense to be purchasing some of these foreclosed homes and renting them out. There are households out there who are becoming renters, and that's a source of affirming of the overall market.
Mike, let me ask you this. If you are a potential buyer, you may never see times this good again.
I think it's not may. I think you definitely will not see times this good again.
The time is now to invest in cash flow real estate. Those who sit on the sidelines are going to miss this wave. Now let me tell you what we do and do not do here at Marquis Properties. We are not selling fix and flips, REITs, limited partnerships, co-ops, or any other type of complex real estate investment. Believe me, do not want the headaches of buying a property, fixing it up, becoming a landlord, and then answering that call at 2 o'clock in the morning from the tenant who's got a leaky toilet. Marquis Properties provides rent-ready, rehabbed, warranty-deeded, professionally managed, cash-flowing investment properties. Well, that's a mouthful, but you heard that right. Rent-ready, rehabbed, warranty-deeded, professionally managed, cash-flowing real estate. A turnkey, headache-free, income-producing real estate portfolio. This unique opportunity exists only from Marquis Properties, and we're right at the beginning of the wave.
What's going to happen first? Should people who are looking to invest in houses or to buy a house do so now and wait for the rest of the economy to recover, or does the economy have to start recovering on other fronts before houses recover?
Well, I mean, I think a housing recovery is going to happen. So I think given the metrics out there, you know, there's a good case to be made that it is a good time to buy.
All right. I really like that video because it talks about some of the concerns that a lot of people have about their investments, and speaks specifically about what cash flow real estate is, what it can do, what it can provide. And so let's just continue on here. As we all know, historically, real estate has been the most important tool to create wealth. If we didn't all agree with that, we wouldn't be on this webinar right now. I love real estate. It's exciting. It's just a great opportunity. It's not rhetoric. In that video clip, one of the contributors, the CNN Money, said that now is the time, and it really is, folks. This is an incredible time to own cash flow real estate, and that's what we're trying to help you understand and get you excited about. We have properties that are available to purchase today, right now. Not next week, not next year. By then, that opportunity will be over. This is really important. And the properties, the different examples that you'll see on the webinar today, these are the type of properties that we have available. They are going to range in price between $60,000 to $80,000 to purchase the property free and clear. Okay, this is not a property that you share with somebody else or a partnership. No, you own this property, full warranty deed, and you are earning the rental income month to month. All right, one short video clip here. Warren Buffett, the Oracle from Omaha. Folks, people listen to what he has to say, and he speaks specifically about rental properties. Listen to what he says.
But if I had a way of buying a couple 100,000 single-family homes and had a way of managing, the management is enormous. It's really a problem because they're one by one. They're not like apartment houses. So, but I would load up on it. If anybody is thinking about buying homes, 5 years ago they couldn't buy them fast enough because they thought they were going to go up, and now they don't buy them because they think they're going to go down, and interest rates are far lower. It's a very attractive asset class now.
If you are a young individual investor at home and you have your choice between buying your first home or investing in stocks, where would you tell someone is the better bet?
If I thought I was going to live, if I knew where I was going to want to live the next 5 or 10 years, I would buy a home. It's a terrific deal. And if I was an investor that was a handy type, which I'm not, and I could buy a couple of them at distressed prices and find renters, I think that's it's a leveraged way of owning a very cheap asset now, and no, I think that's probably as attractive an investment as you can.
All right, so obviously, I don't think anyone on this webinar is prepared to buy a couple 100,000 single-family residences, but you can see what when he looks at an investment, he looks at the value, he looks at what can be leveraged, and again, just a confirmation of what we all feel to be true. Cash flow real estate is where it's at. All right. At the end of the day, as was mentioned in the video prior to this one, our clients are looking for one thing: cash flow. Because they need it, because they want it. They just want a good return on their investment. That's what Marquis Properties provides. Turnkey cash flow real estate. Everyone on this webinar at one time or another has thought about it. Maybe you've even engaged in real estate already. And what we hear time and time again is, listen, I really want to get involved, but man, I don't want that 2 a.m. phone call. I don't want to have to rehab and maintain this property. I don't want to have to collect rent. I don't want to have to do background checks. They don't want to be a landlord. And this is where Marquis Properties comes into play. Our strategy, pure and simple, is to develop long-term relationships to provide income-producing properties through cash flow real estate. All right. Now I want you to get to know us a little bit more. I've got a video here that goes into more detail about who we are as a company, how we do business. Talks about property managers, tenants. I think you'll really enjoy this.
I enjoy doing what I do for a lot of reasons. Obviously, like anybody, I'm in here to make money, but this has been an easy business for me to make money in because the product sells itself. We're helping people get something, a vehicle for themselves to make additional money. We're helping people in the area, and there's a lot of satisfaction I get out of this. Looking at a project after it's all said and done, saying, wow, that was a great project, and everyone's happy all the way around. Marquis Properties is a full turnkey company. We take a property from the worst state to the best state. Our process is unique in that we're a full turnkey operation looking at all aspects of the business, not just one to make money. We want to make money We want our investors to make money, and we want the area to be upgraded and to also improve as well. People try to do this themselves. They're taking on a lot more than they can chew. I'm in contact with property managers, maintenance crews on a daily basis. We have a very sophisticated network of individuals, both here at the office and in the field. And I think that's the most important component, is we have people living, working in the areas, in the cities, in the same streets where our properties are located. And that's important for our investors to feel comfortable that we have the infrastructure in place to manage their properties. Marquis has many property managers throughout the country. That's one of the strengths that we bring to the table. We'll never put an investor into an area or a property that we do not have competent management in. We've done lots to vet those people out, to get them to be somebody that we consider a teammate with us, that we can trust and turn our investors over to. Renee in Ohio, for example, is an incredible one for us.
I do everything. When the property is in the very beginning stages, I coordinate the rehabs. I bring in my contractors to handle any of the restoration done on the property, calls to maintenance, having little things, plumbing issues that people don't think come up, things that tenants call daily for. Start to finish, I take the pressure off my investors. I collect all rents. I rent out all properties. I do all background checks. I work with the tenants, and I work with all the city municipalities to get people into the properties.
Having gone out into these communities, we have obviously been able to renovate these properties. But most of these properties are not always in the rentable state, so we go in, we proceed with the rehab, both inside and outside. And the whole purpose of that is to attract qualified tenants. But these aren't just tenants, these are families. These are mom and dad and kids, and the satisfaction, I think, comes from knowing that we've been able to provide a property that is warm during the winter, secure, structurally sound, a place people can call home.
My name's Earlene, and I'm 24. This is my first place of my own, actually living by myself, so it's pretty cool. It's hard to find a place that's nice. A lot of places I looked at, they just put it out there, like, you know, it is what it is, take it or leave it. So it's nice to know that somebody's actually taking pride in what they're doing. Everything was clean, nice, new, done well. You can tell it wasn't rushed through and just like put together. It's actually been a great experience thanks to dealing with Renee, and I fell in love with the place as soon as I moved in. Everything's spanking new, and it's just perfect.
We get a good satisfaction out of that, knowing that we've not only done justice for our investor who may purchase the property to try and make a return, but even deeper than that, the people are getting into a quality product. They're getting into something that's worthwhile, something that's safe, something that passes code, it meets code, something that is actually worth living in and worth paying the money for. A majority of our investors are out of state. They see that what we put together it makes sense. It really doesn't matter where the property is located. And Stuart is one of hundreds of clients that we have all over the country, all over the world. And he's acquired not just one, but gosh, I think he's on his fourth property, large commercial multifamily type property. Stuart is he absolutely loves real estate. I've never met a person that loves to look at and loves real estate more than Stuart does.
The number one satisfaction in doing what I do is making money. I mean, truthfully, I mean, you'd be lying if you didn't say, but you can do a lot of things with money. I mean, you guys know that you tithe, you donate, you can do things like that with, with money. I mean, and with your investments. And investing is fun. You don't ever want to really completely retire. And that's the last thing I ever say is, I usually say I got out of the Marine Corps. I don't say I retired. I like getting up and having something I need to do. I like getting up and getting on the computer and looking for properties or doing evaluations. I wear a calculator watch so I could program in the calculations when I get ready. with Marquis, one of the nice things about Marquis is everybody I've worked with and talked to there have all been, I think, pretty straightforward and honest. They tell you about the pitfalls. It's not a hide and seek type thing where I've got to find them myself, and that's a real trust thing. If you're trying to just provide people with a nice, safe housing at reasonable rates, that's what Marquis is doing.
Marquis is here to stay. We're not just about making that one sale. We want you to come back. And I think time has shown that our clients, they buy a property, they start getting that check from the property manager, that rental income. They go, wait, this works. This is working really well.
Marquis is outstanding at picking the right product in the right location. And they are an outstanding company they're the last of the good guys in my mind.
This is a lot less stressful and it's a lot more fun. I mean, you just need to go in with your eyes open and pay close attention and heads up, and I think just about anybody can be successful in this business.
Other people can come in and rehab a property and put nice carpet and do that just like we do. There's nothing secret about that. But the team that we have in place is so critical to people's success in this business. Going forward, this is just the beginning.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Gives you just a better idea of who we are and what's important to us. Yes, making money is important, but it goes deeper than that. We're helping communities, improving the area, and all around. It's just a really good opportunity. So let's look at the numbers. Savings account, 60-month certificate of deposit, money market. You're probably all familiar with these types of investments. In fact, yesterday, or let's see, a few days ago, I was driving down the street and I saw a bank offering a 5-year CD. They were offering 2.3% APR. That's not even keeping up with inflation. And so this is where real estate comes into play. Real assets with steady rates of return. We're looking at a net, taking out expenses, a net between 8.5% to 10% net. It's quite significant. And folks, this is where real estate is so powerful. And it really gets me excited because there's so much potential, not just in the rate of return, but owning a tangible, real asset. And we'll talk about property management. We'll talk about, we'll go into more detail about expenses. But I just wanted to show you some comparisons about what's out there right now. I know there are annuities paying 3, maybe 3.5% a year. So these rates of return are great potential here. All right, so what kind of homes should we target? Well, it depends on what your goals are. Are we just investing to impress? You look at these properties, these are all beautiful. These are nice. Of course, you need at least $1 million to buy one of these, but what are you trying to achieve? And if it's just to look good, if you're so concerned about what the property looks like, that's what we call big hat, no cattle. Instead, you've got to be in it to win it. You've got to look at real estate. You've got to look at the numbers. I'm not suggesting that you take emotion out of everything you do. That's impossible. But you need to be aware of what are you trying to do? What are you trying to achieve? You look at these properties. These are beautiful properties in great areas, great neighborhoods, and so let's get into more detail here. Let's look at this scenario. This is a property, nice property. Obviously, this was purchased on a short sale. This property costs quite a bit more, but let's look at the numbers here. $240,000 rent, $1,500 a month. Not a bad looking property. You could probably find this property in your own backyard. And so let's look at the rent. $1,500 a month, 7% cash on cash return, but we still need to take out the management fees, maintenance reserve, taxes. Look at those taxes, $3,500 That's a big chunk of change right there. Insurance, just under $1,300. After you take out expenses, you're looking at a 3.9% net return. Okay? Let's look at another option. This property located in Kansas City, Missouri. It's a nice property. 3 bedrooms, new countertops, carpet paint, a lot like your first home. But it's $70,000. $70,000, you own it free and clear. Again, this is an example. We're getting $750 a month. Here we go, 13%. Not bad. Of course, that's a cash-on-cash return. We've got to take the expenses out, but look at that. Management fee, maintenance reserve, taxes. Look at those taxes, $465 a year. My friends in Texas, I don't know how many people we have on the webinar that live in Texas. I love Texas. I grew up in Texas. Texas has no income tax. But how do they fund and produce revenue? Property tax. Large property taxes. And so, again, you've got to look at the numbers. And every penny in expenses eats away at your profit. Insurance. We have a company in Kansas City that specializes in insuring investment properties. So you get the right amount of coverage that you need, that you don't pay a penny more. So you net all of that out, we're looking at a 9% net return. Not bad for a $70,000 investment. So who was the real estate investor? Okay, again, I love comparisons. You got to look at the numbers. The real question, though, how many cash flow properties could you purchase with the same $240,000? This is where Kansas City, this is where Marquis Properties comes into play. Folks, we can purchase 3 to 4 times, you and I, 3 to 4 times the amount of properties for the same dollar. Time and time again, we speak with clients on the phone or face-to-face. The first question they ask is, well, what opportunities do you have in California, Arizona, or Florida? And the answer to that is 0. Well, why? Why not? Those are the hot spots. And we reply back, yes, they can be hot, but they can also be pretty cold. There are opportunities to make money, but there are also there's just greater risk involved. You have the potential to lose your investment. Kansas City is an area that we have put quite a few resources into over the last several years, and we couldn't be happier with Kansas City. So again, you got to look at that 3 to 4 times more properties for the same dollar. Would you rather have all your eggs in one basket in one property, or would you rather own 3 to 4 with the same amount of money? All right, so let's talk about Kansas City. Why Kansas City, Missouri? When people think of rental properties, cash flow, real estate, Kansas City is not the first city that comes to mind. Let me tell you why. And we've done our homework. Economic vitality. You look at these Fortune 500 companies, H&R Block, Boeing, Sprint, O'Reilly Auto Parts. That's quite significant. There are 2 companies that you probably have never heard of, YRC Freight and Seaboard Corporation. The reason why I'm bringing this up is a lot of people don't realize Kansas City is the transportation hub of the United States of America. You've got all of the grain belt states to the west. It's smack dab right in the middle of the U.S. This transportation hub creates jobs. It creates, or it has created an incredible infrastructure. Roads, transportation, technology. What do companies look for when they want to build a new plant or sometimes move their headquarters? They want an area that has a large population base, adequate infrastructure, and I would go further and say superior infrastructure, so that it can support their business, support their industry. This is very significant. We want a well-diversified economy. Detroit. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Detroit, besides cars? I don't know whether it's positive or not, but Detroit is considered a Rust Belt city. 30, 40 years ago, Detroit was the king of the hill. Manufacturing was the #1 industry. But what has happened to manufacturing in this country? A lot of it has gone overseas. And look at Detroit now. Folks, you can buy a property for the cost of a toaster. $500 you can buy properties. But what's happened to that city? When you have a 50 to 60% business vacancy, what happens to that population? Do they stick around? No, they go elsewhere. And that's why we are very careful where we buy our real estate. Not just for you, but even for ourselves. And Kansas City is well diversified. Sorry. This is what happens when you're dealing with technology, okay? Kansas City is well diversified. And I've got another slide here. I want to show you a little snapshot of Kansas City. This was sent to me, actually FedExed to me by a client. He was flying home and he saw this 8-page article in one of those in-flight magazines, and I wanted to show this to you. This was pretty recent, and it shows you the employment breakdown, the economy, different sectors of Kansas City. You notice manufacturing, I don't know if you can see it or not, 7.2%. It's the 6th or 7th largest economic sector. I'm not worried about manufacturing jobs being sent overseas. Why? Because I've got trade, #1, trade, transportation, and utilities. #2, professional and business services. Education and healthcare services. Government, financial services, leisure, and hospitality. This is a very well-rounded city, greater metropolitan area. It does not hurt that we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the Royals. Again, that's what attracts people. Entertainment, business. There's also, I don't know if you can see this here right in the middle, this brand new Performing Arts Center. Just a well-diversified economy. What does that do? It creates a high demand for rentals. You've got a large enough population base to support that. All right, more key factors, price point. Again, I already emphasized that. More bang for your buck. You can buy more properties for the same dollar that will generate substantial long-term income. A high rental demand. You've got almost 2 million people in the greater metro area. A lot of blue-collar, working-class families. You have a stable housing market. Again, I'm not interested in a market that is so volatile. You're not sure what's going to happen from month to month or year to year. I want stability. And the last one I want to talk about is investor friendly. Okay, the great state of Missouri is what we would consider a very landlord friendly state. The opposite of that is what we call a tenant-to-right state. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but a tenant-to-right state is basically where the tenant has more rights than the homeowner, than the landlord. And we found this out the hard way. We had several investment properties in Pennsylvania. And worst case scenario, you always got to look at the worst case scenario. We ended up having to evict a tenant, and it took 5 months. 5 months. That property did not earn any income. The tenants were squatting. They knew the system. They knew they could get away with it. And it was just very, very frustrating. Kansas City, 3 weeks. 3 weeks. And to be honest with you, our property managers are so good, it doesn't even get to that point. Just because they go through so many background checks and W-2 income verification. They do a great job at finding the right tenant. Low property taxes. We already talked about that. You've got to look at all of your expenses, and you've got to be realistic. Okay. So again, Kansas City. We love Kansas City, and we plan on being here for the foreseeable future. All right. This picture. Park Hills Drive in Grandview, Missouri, one of the local suburbs of the greater Kansas City area. What does this picture tell you? about the neighborhood, about the type of tenant that might be in the area. All right, so I'll basically tell you, I see a total of 4 cars. I see a truck on the right. I see a red car in the middle of the street, in the middle of the picture. I see a minivan further to the left, and another car way down there. This is the middle of the day. People are working. They're working, which means they can pay their rent. The area where these properties are located that we have available for sale today, these are the areas where these properties are located. We cannot and will not buy a property without the property management's approval. If they can't fill a vacancy and keep it occupied, we don't want that property. We don't want the hassle. We don't want the headache. We want properties that people in areas where people want to rent, that will renew their lease year after year after year. Typical lease will be at least 1 year, sometimes 2. And again, that just shows you the importance of property management. And again, they are the key. They are the key to this whole operation. And we have, frankly, we have the best in the business. Okay, now this doesn't happen overnight. We have spent years fostering and developing and testing these relationships with our property managers. They are third party. They're fully licensed, insured. If you were to purchase a property from Marquis, you would enter into a property management agreement so they can legally act on your behalf. These property managers know the area inside and out. They live and work in the same neighborhoods. They know what the best rental rates are. They know how to deal with tenants, to set those expectations in the very beginning. And like I mentioned, we have literally spent years and an incredible amount of resources to develop these relationships, not just for us, but for you as an investor. It's just really important to us. All right, so what kind of investor will you be? Big hat, no cattle? No. It's all about price. We talked about that. Location and property management. And this is where Marquis comes into play. We have everything. It is a turnkey operation. The only thing you need to do is obviously have your questions answered, feel comfortable, and get started. All right, let's look at some real-world examples of properties in Kansas City. This particular property, $62,000 sales price, income of about $725. You've got expenses with a net return of just under $6,000. Now, obviously, you can see this property is occupied. It's being lived in right now. And so, not bad. $62,000, monthly income. You own the property outright. Let's look at another one. $64,000, rental income of $700. Typical rents, again, are going to be in between $700 to $800. You're looking at a net return of about $5,700. Again, low taxes, reasonable insurance. You don't need to over-insure. You need to protect yourself. You need to protect your property. Our property managers require that all tenants have renter's insurance, which is very inexpensive in of itself. Let's show you another one here. A little larger property. This is earning $750 a month. Again, management, maintenance, taxes, insurance. That maintenance is really important. We encourage all of our clients to withhold a certain percentage every month, just for a rainy day, just in case something were to happen. Again, this is real estate. That's just a good idea. Again, the property is being lived in, and you got the TV on there, and that's exactly what it is. It's an occupied, cash-flowing property. These pictures are a little old, but I just like to show the before and after effect. It's amazing what a little TLC will do to that property, both on the exterior and the interior. Nice little power wash. There was a tree that had fallen down. on the roof, new windows. Interior looks great, carpet, paint, blinds. Again, just good looking. Here's another one. Look at that. A little smaller home here. Majority of our properties that are available today are larger, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. But again, this just gives you an idea of what goes into renovating these properties. All right, look at that. Is that beautiful? And what does a good-looking property do? Property managers can fill attractive properties very fast, obviously. Here's another one. Another property in Kansas City. Look at those hardwood floors. Aren't those nice? A prospective tenant walks in. They're ready to sign. Just really a good-looking home. A good area, good neighborhood. Grassy front yard. All right. We're wrapping up here. I just wanted to briefly go through the benefits of working with Marquis. Number one, you own the property free and clear. Full warranty deed. We're talking about immediate cash flow, professionally rehabbed, incredible property managers. I can't emphasize that enough. No realtor fees, no closing. All the closing costs are included. We're not going to nickel and dime you. For those of you who are not aware, if you're wondering how am I going to buy a property, I'm interested. I'm excited. If you have an old 401k or IRA, you can roll that into a self-directed IRA. If you roll it over, there are no tax consequences. A true rollover, will continue your tax deferral. But a self-directed IRA is exactly what it sounds like. You can direct how you would like your IRA to be invested, whether that's in stocks and bonds and in real estate. And we can help you facilitate that rollover with a custodian that will allow that to happen. Again, steady rate of return. This is a turnkey product for investors. It does not matter where you live. Again, professionally managed. We have a customer support center to assist you in transferring all the deeds and paperwork, helping you get insurance on the property, introducing you to the property manager. Again, true turnkey solution. All right, so how do you get started? Let me just go through the process real quick. With as many people as we have on the webinar, truth be told, we do not have enough properties for everyone. It takes a lot of work to provide these properties for you. So they're on a first-come, first-served basis. If you are interested in buying cash flow real estate today, then you need to act. We ask for a $1,000 deposit to reserve the property. That gets us started on the paperwork, funding escrow. If you need help rolling over your IRA into a self-directed IRA, we can point you in the right direction and get things going. Once it has been funded, again, we have customer support to assist you with insurance. We'll introduce you to the property manager. Again, like I mentioned, you'll sign a property management agreement with a licensed property manager and then enjoy the cash flow. That's what it's all about. So pretty simple step. We just need to know where you are. And so what do you do right now? I feel like we had a good conversation. Of course, it's just one-sided right now. You probably have questions, and that's fine. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to have your questions answered, and we really want to talk to you. At the same time, with as many people that we have on today, it would be nearly impossible to speak with every one of you. So for those who are genuinely interested, who have the funds, that would like their questions answered, I want you to write this down. I want you to go to www.creatingbigmoney.com. Go to this website, fill in the information, some contact info, how many properties you're interested in purchasing, and we're not going to sell your information. This is all held internally so that we can basically qualify those who are ready to go. This is also an opportunity If you go to this site, again, www.creatingbigmoney.com, we have a voucher, a discount, quite a significant discount on your first property purchase. So you're only going to get it if you actually fill out the form. Again, it's confidential data, and so we just want to know where you're at. Obviously, answer any questions. A property representative will get with you in the next 24 hours. If you're ready to get, we will get back to you immediately. And wow, just I appreciate this opportunity to meet with all of you today. And look forward to answering your questions and getting involved in cash flow real estate. Y'all have a great day.